and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a Diamond Hecarim versus a Diamond Skarner. Now I've been talking a little bit about the hidden OP nature of Skarner in the last few weeks on the gameplay channel as well as on the main channel, and so I figured, hey, let's bring it to the coaching channel, but through the guise and the eyes of the Hecarim, because Hecarim's gonna, well, I had a look at his profile. He's doing some okay games and some bad games. Like, he has open 15s and closed 15s, and the Skarner in this particular game just doesn't get going, and I'm really curious as to why and what the Hecarim does that potentially allows him to maintain control, because the Skarner, yes, you can Q max, AFK farm, and do all the good shit that you normally want to do, but at the same time, you can also go E max, that's an old tech for hyper ganking. Now, I don't recommend that at all. The win rates for that do not support the current iteration of the game, but straight up Q max, we should still be very, very good in terms of locking down targets, right? And when you have a Katarina, and you have a Zaya, and you have a Hecarim, then this lockdown that he has with his E-auto plus the suppression ultimate, that's absolutely critical to success. Now, what we're seeing is a red Raptors into this full quadrant, this full camp in a clear, so the retro clear. Red, Raptors, Wolves, blue, or blue, Wolves, Raptors, red. Not a fan. Not a fan. Don't do this at all anymore. This, actually, I'm now enraged. I've slowly become enraged over the last 5 seconds. Look, if you're going to go ahead and gank this lane, snowball your Katarina, and I played with some high-level Katarinas back in Season 9, you know, what you want to do is go boom, 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 cut, gank. Good. Translate, because he's going up into bottom lane fisting. Oh, look, they're low. Maybe this is pushed up. Maybe it's gankable. If it isn't, we can always fall back to our blue side and revisit this opportunity. Skarner's going to be on the top side. We have crab control. We can repeat gank mid lane. Katarina's fed. And now you roam and enjoy and farm an objective control and just vibe for the rest of the game. What he's doing here is, if you're going to basically cut the Krugs out to say, look, let me try and gank this early, then why are we going to the blue here and not the Gromp? This will replenish you fine, and I know we need the mana. I understand fully we need the mana, but what if you were against a different kind of champion that maybe wanted to collapse and invade and steal your stuff, and now you're showing up, you know, not level 3, out of mana, you have no E to run away. Doesn't really look or feel that good. So regardless, if you're a Hecarim player, and you're doing a 5 camper like this, just stop. Because if you want to gank mid lane early, you can 3 camp, you can 3 camp, and then you have something to fall back to. Because the idea is still level 4, leverage your farming potential. That's what we want. Now you get the replenishment, you're absolutely fine to go ahead and do this Grom, but I don't really understand why we would cut out the Krugs, you know what I mean? And I feel like in the Diamond course, when that eventually comes out, hopefully in the next week or two, you know, we're going to talk a lot about these diamond level tendencies. So, like, he's going to go ahead and gank the mid lane here. I do like the action that he is thinking about. Obviously, let ourselves get level 3. But, you know, why couldn't we do that before Silas was level 3? Why couldn't we do that before? So, you know, we're going to get the kill here. We're going to snowball the Katarina. All of this is great, but don't results based on, right? The Skarner, in the meantime, is level 4. He snacks his little Dominion thing, whatever the hell that's called. Who cares? It's going away soon with the rework. And he snacks himself a Scuttle Crab. Now, he will look here, hopefully. You know, he probably should have looked here sooner. I mean, let's, like, have a look. We're talking about the Hecarim here, but, like, you know, let's finish the Gromp. We see the Hecarim here. You know, now we're worried about potentially losing the Scuttle. I would rather kill the Malphite than worry about the Scuttle Crab. You know what I mean? And, of course, when we see the Hecarim here, level 3, 20 CS, I know that the guy did a 5 camp, but it's very, very unlikely that he did a 5 camp with the Krugs and of the Gromp. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't seem right, because the lane wasn't in such a position that he would detach and leave us clear and cut a camp short. Like, there wasn't that kind of rotational decision he had to make. So things that the Hecarim as well as the Skarner should be thinking about. Let's see what develops. We do shove. We telegraph down. We know we're going to this. The bottom lane should be wary of this. Obviously, Hecarim now is going to the bottom side, but yes, the Skarner showing up here. Missed opportunity now from the Skarner. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we can actually do something. Problem is, while we were looking away, you know, and having a good time here, the Jax has obviously lost some more HP, and now they're loitering, and there's a cannon wave, and it's the timing of dives, the timing of these plays in Diamond will determine the level of impact you have as a jungler. Like, is every game jungle diff? No. But you definitely feel the bad jungler's impact significantly more so in Diamond. And this guy's thing is chat off, most likely pings off. Any mistakes that he makes, he puts on himself. Like, they're still here. Look at this scenario. Like, this is all because, like, at this point, you should have just pissed off and gone back to base. At this point, you're like, sorry, top laner. Sorry. I ruined your life by not coming when I should have. The Hecarim was never going to go up to this because the Hecarim knows, once he ganks in mid lane, that Skarner's on this already because he hasn't shown top lane. He also knows that the Skarner's level 4 and you're level 3. And he also knows that the Katarina needs to reset, and forcing her to rotate to a Skull Crab fight it doesn't utilize the lead he's given her. You know what I mean? So from a Diamond perspective, in terms of like early rotation, all these things need to be snappy, snappy, snappy. And when they are, that's when you get mastered here. So the Hecarim did a solid job here of obviously cutting his clear short to do this. But as you know, we didn't have to, right? There was alternative strategies that also defend versus counter jungling, also make the Skarner feel a little bit more pressured because you show sooner. A lot of cool things. And the Skarner just wastes unholy amounts of time here. I don't know why. He chose the Scuttle Crab over this. We know the Hecarim was not going to move up, basically, so we can always fall back down to it after the dive. Katarina's not moving. And because Hecarim started topside and is going down, as you're seeing, the Katarina can move up. The Hecarim's going to show up. This is all because Skarner and Jax are living on their own planet. And it's not a good planet, it's a bad planet. It's a stupid planet. One that's most likely will be destroyed, has no water. It's the one from Interstellar where Jason Bourne was stuck on. Yeah, hopefully you get that one. So the Hecarim shows up, Katarina gets a free kill on the Jax, and now the Skarner's fallen back down. He's been out so long, he's fallen back down to his wolf camp, right? Well, everybody loves a good Silas. And now imagine if we were Corpus Mentis and able to actually do anything, but we were not. So now basically we're going to shadow the Hecarim, who has Ionian Boots plus Mana Moons, into his jungle, ward the red, and go to the Raptors. No. You see, as soon as you see the gank mid lane here, you do this, you look for this, you waste 10 years. You see him go down, he kills the center. Woohoo, nice. Now, because he did a 5 camp down and most likely fell back to the Scuttle Crab, when you see him again, right, he got 1 minion from the mid lane, 21 CS, he shows bottom lane again, 25. Add and subtract however many minions the jungler took. Cool. Now he's going to disappear again. You know that at this point, the guy is going back to base, will come back to the top side. If he did red Raptors, we know that these Raptors are up at 418, 419, 420-ish, and we know that effectively he will want to take these tier 2 Krugs. So by forcing this hang around, and yes, let's not make any mistake of it, we force this hang around to Skarner, you're just delaying, and now the Katarina can come with itemization, the Hecarim can come with itemization. You spent so long here, your wolf camp respawns, so you're like, I might as well go to that, that looks fun. It's just the difference between, he don't even get it. He don't even got it. Like, we know that this is gonna happen. In Diamond, you know, categorically, because behavior for the best, behavior for the best possible option is usually what you'll face. And the randomness from Diamond junglers is a different kind of random than it is from Silver. Because like, hey, Diamond, I expect you to go here. Oh, look, you showed up here. In Silver, it'd be like, why is he bottom lane again? All right, well, I guess you have camps I can steal. Cool. And you'll take the camps for free, you know? It's a different kind of randomness. And the Skarner is a great example of this randomness, right? The Hecarim's a great example of this randomness. Oh, he did a 5 gank and get mid lane. But it still benefited his team, right? Because the intention was solid. Now, because of all this stuff, tick, tick, boom. Now, because of this, right, we have this ward on the red is a little bit silly because you know that the guy's going to go to Krugs and shadow down. So you actually want to ward there if you're going to do the Raptors. But even then, you don't want to do the Raptors. You can't do the Raptors because you straight up and categorically know that the guy's going Krugs Raptors and Katarina is going to be coming from base because she died. Hecarim died last. Silas died last. So Silas is now going to be delayed. Katarina will be there first. It's stupid. It's stupid. Now, the Hecarim does decide to go to the bottom side here. We, of course, have our blue quadrant sequenced, and now we're like, hey, let's go ahead and do this Dragon, because Malphite is showcasing himself top sides. Katarina has killed the Silas, level 6 to level 5. Sen is holding. We know that the Skarner will maybe show up on the side of the map. Well, 99% we know he should be on the side of the map for his red. Oh! And he can do nothing about it. And he can do nothing about it. And you can go into Discords and make, you know, send these ruffles in for coaching to people and be like, my team. And then you look at it and you're like, well, this is all your fault. Like, you caused the domino effect here. And in Diamond, the domino effect of a jungler's impact really can be strong. And fortunately, in my Discord, we have a lot of people who play a lot of different positions who have this season climbed to Diamond, last season climbed to Diamond. So they're not jaded by the Master Tier Diamond kind of stuff. And they're fresh, and they're recognizing these new things and these tendencies from these junglers and the impacts that they have. And it's really interesting to see the perspectives of good Diamond junglers who are going to become Master eventually, diamond junglers who need to figure their way around, you know, and the same thing when you have those mid laners, likewise, those destined for master, and those who are trying to figure their way out, and how it all meshes together. That's why diamond can be so interesting, but it's a Skarner or a jungler who kind of does this stuff here and forces all of this isn't also good. So now we do eventually hit level 6. We know that the Hecarim did secure that dragon, go back to base. Now we're just gonna flash and ult. I don't think we necessarily needed to do that. As long as we can W movement speed, hit our E, get the auto attack, we're good to go. You know, I would prefer you in that case maybe to just flash auto and get the guaranteed kill. Like, you want to save your ult and your E stun combo for the Katarina, for the Hecarim, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff we want to probably focus on a bit more in terms of order of spells. Now, if Hecarim did the dragon, I think it's an interesting proposition to maybe go probe to see what's available on this side. Because we know the guy shows top lane, does this, smites it, goes down here, and takes this. That would suit that tempo. Once he's taken this, if this is respawned already, maybe he's taken it, right? Maybe he's taken it. And of course we can go back in time and we can look at this and we say, okay, look, he's doing this. Cool. Why would he stay? If you're from Skarner's perspective, right, what's Hecarim doing now? Why would he stay? He started top side, he's going down. He did Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp. The blue isn't up yet. He's not going to wait around for blue because he's not silver. Hey, once I've done this gank on the bottom side, maybe I could translate that into some counter jungling, right? Some good old-fashioned counter jungling. I would use the river control because we know the Hecarim is not going to be here, right? The Skarner knows the Hecarim is not going to be on the side. Therefore, we can try and get control of our Crystal Scar thing. We can maybe look to sneak this away, but I do like to focus on the gank mid rather than the blue. But if you have a control ward, or your warding totem for some particular reason, it'd be nice to go get some deep vision. Maybe not here because it looks like the Nautilus and the Xayah have decent pressure, so they'll just clear it. Could put it up here, could put it up here. Just something deep, right? While he's not there. Something to think about. In the meantime, Katarina is mid lane. We press our W for the movement speed. We do hit the E when we force the Shimpo. Great champion, super fun and engaging. And now we are telegraphing exactly where we're going. And the Hecarim, in the meantime, as you would have seen, we have the thing over there. He's just counter jungling away. So the Skarner is going to have a rude awakening. Alright. Okay. There we go. Hello. Let's see who wins, actually. Not Skarner. There you go. I mean, the Hecarim doesn't have prize, so he does have to be careful. I do like the pressure a little bit, but you don't want to force it too much. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, exactly right. Fall back down, snack that baby up, go ahead and take that one. You don't want to hang around too much in this regard overall, because obviously it's going to create issues. Because as soon as the Jax rotates and Silas cuts in, you could be in a rough situation now. Platinum Jungler might look to continue this pressure, and then they end up falling, right? So, good restraint there by the Hecarim. Shows up here. Decides, hey, can I help the Jax roam? No. Skarner, in the meantime, sits on his Grump to finish that first. Hecarim steals, Silas steals the ult from Hecarim, so they both get horsed. Oh, baby, do you see it? Line up. Line up. Well. He has his ult, but he chooses not to use it. Does he go in now? Does the Rock want to go rock solid gaming now? He's holding it. A lot of discipline. Also, Silas, good champion. Look at the threat. The Skarner's just like, look at the Skarner. Again, the pings from the Jax, like he wants to help his laners, but he just doesn't know how to, right? He doesn't know how to. He's just hovering in the wrong position, and the lanes are always in a rough position. Like, if this is the case and someone just needs to back out, you could just help them push it up. But at the same time, yeah, the Jax should leave, but you understand why. Like, the Jax should definitely leave, no question. But you understand why he's feeling a bit disenfranchised with the Skarner, because this happened earlier. Leeched experience, didn't go for it, missed the timing because he focused his Scuttle Crab. And he's not having any impact, and you can see why the Jax is like, I want to shove this out, but like, even then, the Malphite will kill us, so. You get it, right? You understand why the Jax is frustrated and why he's playing compromise at this particular stage? And obviously the Hecarim in the meantime is like, hello, I am here to help. Yeah. Yeah. So, this is nice, solid gaming. Anyway, I do agree, you understand if laners just need to leave, they need to leave, it is what it is, but you can't help them de-shove and unfreeze, like that's your job, essentially. And yeah, anyway, enough on that. Jax and Skarner both playing compromise, both playing not so in their heads, and the Hecarim gets a free cleanup on the bottom side now, can fall back to the Grump and the Wolves. Well, Grump Blue Wolves. In theory, he should have gone Blue Grump Wolves, actually, so we can maintain good sequencing. Always do that. Always do that, because when you get into the mid-game, as we're going to be heading to shortly, and you see scenarios where it's like, I want to rotate to the mid lane, but I have 25 seconds before all my laners are in position, and I want to go outside in. You know, if you do Grump Blue Wolves, you might have time to do the Grump, but now you have to wait for the Wolves because you didn't sequence them perfectly, and the fight develops, and you have to rotate, things happen, cool, and now you go this side, you're just leaving a camp on the quadrant, and it's not resetting. Now imagine if that happens 4, 5, 6 times over the course of, you know, the early, mid, and the late game. At minimum, you're losing like 6 camps, right? So that's a lot of golden experience that gets you to 18, gets you to different itemization spikes, gets you to 13. So Blue, Grump, Wolves, cool. Now they're set up for sequencing. I can loop on down and do the Scuttle Crab as we're going to do here. We look at the bottom lane. We see that the Xayah and the Nautilus are going. The hook misses. The Skarner actually goes ahead and does this one. Fortunately, some kind of proactivity from his perspective. The Silas goes in on the Katarina, and the Hecarim shows up. That was easy. The Jax rotates again with the roam because he's got nothing else to do, really. And I love it. I love it because look who fell back to his jungle. Da 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 da. No interest at all in looking at the map, playing with his eyes up, helping out, and that's why Jax is doing what he's doing, right? And now, of course, the Jax has this wave again. Now again, it's gonna be leached by the Skarner. Like, you know, it's peculiar, the pathing and the behavior. Now the Hecarim decides, okay, look, I see that you took that. There's no point going to the top side. I see you rotated from here. There's no point going to the top side. I know you're most likely going to go this all the way down. So can I sneak this out in front of your face? Drag it into the bush, please. Drag it into the bush. There we go. I do like these plays. I like them a lot. We have Smite as we need. We can, of course, save it for the dragon as we need. I like this play. Beautiful timing. Well done. Very, very nice. That's the kind of stuff that you want to do. Because now he's chasing. He's like, my red buff. And now you're like, okay, get the movement speed here. Go gank bottom lane. He's waiting to set up. Oh, he's just going to do the dragon straight up? Okay, I guess it doesn't make a lot of sense. Hecarim, you don't have prio. You know the Skarner chase you and you don't have prio and Katarina's basing. That's not the play. The play was just to go bottom lane. But, of course, without ultimate, you need to play around your ultimate. So if you're the Hecarim here and you see the situation, it's okay just to base. Just say, fine, I accept. I accept. No prio, no dragon. Grump is spawning shortly. But again, like, look at this. Grump will spawn. And then Wolves will take way too long. Whereas if you invested a bit more time, like say floating with this dragon, and then they're spawned, you fall back and you snack it, Wolves will spawn, and then you can snack that, boof. Now you can go back to base, whole quadrant reset, go topside. If this happens, we can cut in, our ult will be available very, very shortly, and we do something about that. So you're seeing the importance of ensuring that even when it gets to mid-game, Wolves Grump Blue, Blue Grump Wolves, keep that Grump and the Wolf Camp sequence together. The only time it's really okay is as we watch Mega Fistings. Ooh, Jax is a strong champion. He's just jungle river Jax at this point. The only time it's really okay is with the red side because Krugs are kind of geographically undesirable in all ways. Skarner does hit his E there. We will get the auto attack. Or the Q doesn't really matter. Next attack gets that stun. Then we can root him, and then he's going to ult the Jax anyway. I don't know. You see, I said I don't know very truthfully. Like, I wasn't sure if they could do it without Jax dying. And it was close. Now, plead brutal honesty there. I wasn't sure if they could do that, but and you saw the benefit of the Skarner, right? You've got the max HP physical damage on the first proc of your Q. That gives you some juice, and obviously that's another 3% max, magic damage at this particular stage. So he does have a lot there, and of course that's a low cooldown spam ability, right? Because you get cooldown refund on it. You also get cooldown refund on the E based upon the duration of the E stun that you activate. So that's good. So you can get multiple E's off on a fight, especially if you have an ER and then you'll have an E again. Silas almost E's towards this, the Hecarim, who shows up. Double Everfrost. Won't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Because this guy is playing AFK in his head, and he's going for the Iceborne Gauntlet build. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about this. Virkayu, why did you recommend Black Cleaver Jack show Skarner into the Stoneplate? Because it's broken, my friends. It's broken. It gives you unholy tankiness, health drain, stacking resistances in a fight when you can go in and surround yourself with everybody, which is exactly what you do. And it gives you the physical damage proc on your Q. You have a lot of auto attacks that you also leverage, essentially. And it gives you stickiness, the haste, everything else that Black Cleaver gives to every single champion that buys the atomization. The Iceborne Gauntlet is great for kiting and slows, but, you know, the Malphite does magic damage. The Katarina does magic damage. Hecarim does a bit of hybrid damage. You know, oof, the fear into the counter-strike. You spaced that nicely. You spaced that very nicely. So you're looking at something like this magic damage there. What do we got? Physical damage here. Obviously, this is magic damage. And that's physical damage. So nice hybrid, but the armor isn't really the issue. It's like he feels that he should go Sheen into something that allows him to stick with people, have like a baby red smite and slow them. You don't need that. What you need is the ability to fight people early through a lead that you can get through good dynamic pathing. Like, look at this, right? This is pretty solid from the Silas and the Skarner onto the Katarina. Hecarim shows up good reactive pathing, but that was solid. If he had Black Cleaver, she dies. If he had Black Cleaver, she dies. Categorically. And on the gameplay channel, I covered the Skarner. So if you're interested in the builds and more about the kit, go watch that one on the secondary channel. This is the third channel, actually. Main channel also has some stuff about the builds. Main channel, Hidden OP Junglers, has all the builds. I made graphics for all of them. Nautilus repositions accordingly. Now all we're doing is shadowing for the Hecarim, right? Shadow, shadow, shadow. And we see the size coming up here, maybe going for the dive. So we're just doing our grump after the wolves. Now we can react to it. Very, very nice. He hits it. He gets stunned. He gets Everfrosted. We rotate. Free kill. Free kill. Nice, though. Nice, though. You see exactly what I'm saying. Hecarim is playing very, very well. And he's going for the good spike. You see? Not the Duskblade, but the Eclipse. It's still fine. Like the Lethality spike is so good. It's so good for snowballing, especially when you're playing well like this. It was clear a little bit withstanding. Now, the game is still in a bit of a precarious state. 5k gold lead. We don't agree with the Skarner atomization. 100% would have gotten that early damage kill. It's the same reason we rush Flavor on Vi, right? Except instead of needing Radiant Virtue, we go Jack Show because it suits the champion better. Now, obviously, we're going to see the bottom lane fight here. Katarina now has roam presence. Mid lane has turned out to be a bit of a fisty cuffs, but the 8 deaths from the Silas. Bottom lane, obviously, through the impact of Hecarim, is fed. Mid lane, through the impact of Hecarim, is fed. Top lane, through the inactivity of Skarner, is fed, despite the fact that Jax roamed and tried to make things happen. He's just played passive, with no intent to make proactive plays. And, you know, we have ult over the wall? Yes, we do. Yeah, we could do, oh! Oof, that was a horse noise as well that I made. It's perfect. You know, when people say, well, why Eclipse? Why Duskblade? That's why. Why Black Cleaver? That's why. Because damage early, and this is an old, I can't believe we have to revisit this, but it's an old strategy from like season 4, where you would have these tank junglers, and that was like real tank. Well, not tank, but like Vi building Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which was effectively Cinder Hulk, an HP stacking tank jungle item, and we would build full tank, totally. But we would have Black Cleaver as our itemization spike. That would be our damage profile, right? We'd have enough damage to do damage while being unkillable. It's the same logic here. Having early damage to snowball a lead is critical to snowballing games and winning. And then we go tanky afterwards with Jack Show with things like this Radiant Virtue, and no one can kill us. Alternatively, on other champions, you just keep building damage and you one-shot everybody and you win, right? So it's not an exact science, but that's the logic behind having only Black Cleaver and then building tank. Right. This is spawning. We float up to this side. We control the rivers. That fight there most likely is the game winner, to be honest with you. We didn't talk about it, but that was beautiful by the Hecarim. Excellent, excellent, excellent play. We have here now, again, another rotation. Malphite ult into the Hecarim E, into the R. We just segment the two players. Jax will take a tower shot to the face. And now this guy's going to be like, I can run away, but then it's Hecarim, so. Can you? Actually, I think he can. No, he can't. No, wait, maybe he can. He has Flash and W. He has Flash and W, and he has Smite. And he can do the R. Woof, he gets out. So, Skarner with the mobility, pretty solid, actually. Katarina moves to the bottom lane. 3 people bottom lane. Nautilus saying, goodbye, cruel world. And then the Katarina shows up, chucks out a dagger. We'll stand on said dagger. Didn't really have to flash the E, but obviously the Nautilus R from the silence means you kind of want to flash just to reposition safely. We steal a Grump in the meantime. Skarner keeps walking, and Jax respawns. All in this episode of Top Gear Jungle Edition. Now we leave the base, we're going to go down to this, into this most likely. Actually, we probably should do the Scuttle Crab first. Shadow the Katarina, do the Scuttle Crab, could shove this one down. Once you do that, you can fall back up to this, cut in here if you wanted to make the play, catch this, or just keep sequencing depending on what your team wants to do. I feel like leaving this is an example of a very typical problem. Where'd it go? Where's the tiny little sucker? There he is. This is a free Krug camp sitting in the river that no one wants. Why? Why does no one want it? With the same amount of gold and experience basically as a Krug camp at this particular stage, do I have to take them as Zyra support? Because I have, and I do. I thank you. I thank all junglers for this free cash money gold. But why aren't we thinking about poof, poof, and then obviously you can hold this or keep sequencing, or a shadow shove and take this one. Now the Zyra can go mid lane, and then you can fall back to these things over here, and now you can shadow your ADC, or you can cut into here, and you guys can swap that into a Baron. If you're Diamond, you're following me, I hope. Those are all better plays. The lack of proactivity here means that this game is going to go 8 minutes longer. This was the moment to straight up win the game as Jax once more gets sent to the River Styx. And now, of course, we have Hecarim with his Mana Moon completed. And the Skarner once more watching. Like it's a reality TV show. But like, look at this. See, this shouldn't be an issue because immediately, once you guide the Katarina, shadow the Katarina, shove, and take this sucker, you fall back to this. Now, all of a sudden, your mid lane is populated by your support and ADC. The Senna and the Vayne show bottom lane, and what do? Oof, onto the Baron. Now, we're getting it anyway. Because of the silos, but don't results-based it because you won't always have it like this. You won't always have a Jax feeding the global hunger crisis, right? You know, you won't always have that. And this was possible because of this, but what if he was fed? What if it was a fed Jax? And you needed your whole team just to kill him and then do the Baron because you had 2 bottom lane. Exactly. Now, the Hecarim will take the Baron, go back to base. We have the TP from the Malphite who says, yo, I'm gonna go. Senna does hit DW over there. We do have the ultimate up very, very shortly. Let's click in for the timer, 4 seconds. Skarner is precariously located. Does suppress the Malphite. I don't think that's the thing you want to suppress at all. Katarina shows up. He gets the kills. Saya has lived many times this game with not a lot of HP, I've noticed. It's a little bit of luck there as well, but Jax doesn't TP, doesn't trust his team at all, obviously. Why would you? Dragon is spawning. Hecarim's like, yeah, I went back to base, I full cleared. Got myself a Black Cleaver, bit of HP, some Armor Shred for the somewhat tankiness we'll most likely be seeing from the Skarner, who now has this. So the Skarner has made himself simply... Now, if you're going to go Frostfire, you truly think Frostfire just feels better for you, and you love the Sheen, because that's why we love Trinity Force as well. Sheen proc is always great, especially on Skarner. But still go the Black Cleaver first, right? Still go Black Cleaver first, and then you can do your Trinity Force after. Sorry, you could your Iceborne Gauntlet afterwards. So if you really feel like Jax Show isn't the thing, then that's fine. Again, a little bit of an over push here because Zai has to go back to base. Nautilus isn't in the picture. I don't know why we have 3 people shoving this. The best play here is to make sure you're shoving this, taking their jungle camp, shoving this, but you're not fighting. Because Hecarim basically recognizes, look, she's base. He's not here. I can just farm a little bit. Once everyone rejoins, I only have 900 gold in pocket, so I'm not really stressed to go back to base right now. You know, that's a better play. And again, these things stall out games, you know? And you got a Senna, a Silas, a Skarner who's building wrong and not playing very well at all, but what if, right? What if the Vayne starts to get fed? What if the Jax starts to get fed? What if the Senna starts to pop off? What if? You don't want to live for that, right? You want that to be a hypothetical TV show of random possibilities rather than something that happens in your games that costs you your ability to climb through Diamante. Now, Vayne is split pushing, so she is getting a little bit juicier. Level 12 to level 13 in the Xayah. Well, juiced, you know, relative to what she has. I mean, she's 272, so a little bit of unnecessary hype from my end. I apologize. Nice dual jungle perspective though, level 16 to level 13 as it should be. The guys played much better. And now he's just rinsing camps. She bases in a somewhat intelligent way, which is great, which is unusual. We are now living in their jungle, warding, looking for traps and pickings. And now of course we recognize that Malphite isn't in the picture here, Zai isn't in the picture here, but Silas says, you know what if I face check myself and die? And everyone says, you know what, that actually works for us. We'll kill the Senna as well. Nautilus hits the hook. Zai shows up and says, ADC hath arrived. So everyone said, nobody cares. Now, of course, we can just shove this out as well, because we got this one. So, should we double inhib? There we go. Nicely done. Malphite will push the bottom lane. We should join him and collapse onto that, because obviously we don't have the wave to necessarily deal with that. Well then, a little mistake from our Hecarim in terms of positioning. He gets quite low here, but the suppression onto the Katarina there exactly as you should use it. Zai will have her ultimate available. She can dish out the DPS in the backline. The Jax tries to jump over the counter-strike. Flash hits the double stun, gets the kill, but now he's kind of low. Hecarim is doing the crux to, heal himself up. He does get healed up. He's able to hit his E. He's able to hit his R, well, R than E in this case. And the stun onto the center. The Hecarim shows up here. I mean, go, my friend. What are you afraid about? You have Ghost. You have Ghost. He could have killed her and lived, but he chose not to. He chose to elongate the game. Prolong the game a little bit. Nautilus now tries to end by himself. Like, in what universe, sir, is your gigantic sea ass gonna kill these turrets? It's not gonna happen. You're infested with moths and you walk slower than a sea urchin. Just leave. Just base. So now we're down the Nautilus for the next 35 seconds, and everyone else is gonna respawn and just wait for him. And what happens is you send 4 and then they die, and then, that's a comeback. That's a platinum thing, a gold thing, a silver thing, and diamond cannot happen. But I think we can all agree, should we have played it better, we wouldn't be in this situation. Either way, should be a free win, 12k gold lead. There's no stress here, right? There's no stress. It's just you could be in the next one getting more LP. That's all I'm saying. So Hecarim, excuse me. We take the Baron, the Vayne, and the Skarner. Like, well, I guess we should try and do something about this. Let's go ahead and do. I mean, he's gone for the Chem Tank build, and Hecarim steals it. He's gonna flash. You're cut off by the Hecarim. You can see from the positioning, right? Okay, that should do it. Enough of this nonsense. End the game. If you're gonna go Iceborne, Chem Tank, be my guest. You're not gonna carry with it. You better hope it's a, Flex Q or Clash or something like this, because you're not gonna do any damage. You're gonna have to rely on your team. So, really good perspective of Diamond, like a total Diamond overlook, I think, in terms of a lot of the strategies we look at. It's, a bit more elevated from your Platinum games. Hecarim vs Skarner, meta versus off meta. Thank you very much for watching. Virkayu GG for your coaching, for your courses, for your VOD reviews, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.